City boy, city boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video, and you know we gotta go ahead and do the Money in the Bank review, alright? This show was garbage. This show was basically a Raw episode, just an episode of Raw with two ladder matches slapped in between them. All right, that's basically what this was. It was the same shit. The most of this night was just entrances and advertisements. That was most of tonight. All right, the matches were not even overly long. Majority of this fucking 3-hour, 4-hour runtime, however fucking long I was sitting here, majority of this night was dominated by advertisements. If it wasn't an advertisement for whatever, you know, like an actual ad, like we actually cut to commercial in this bitch, it was Michael Cole trying to sell you something. It was Chad Gable trying to sell you something. These motherfuckers slanging Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly, and they're slanging Fireball. They got light and dark for your bitch ass. This shit is getting wild, man. I don't want to hear any more bullshit about how WWE is geared towards the kids, how WWE is supposed to be written for the kids and all this extra shit. It's PG, so we can't get too edgy, all this dumb shit. Yet somehow, some way, these motherfuckers find the room in their pocketbook to take sponsorships from alcohol companies. You can't make this shit up. They're trying to say that Jey Uso, he shouldn't be, shitted on and all this extra shit because, he's for the kids love him, all this and that. And then throughout the night, I'm seeing advertisements for Wheatley. I'm seeing in the men's Money in the Bank match, ladders that have the Fireball logo on them. That was the match that was the ladder that Seth Rollins bitch ass used to go up the ladder and win the Money in the Bank, which we will talk about. We will get into that. This whole show was an advertisement. That is it. Now, I'm not naive. I understand that even back in the day when I was watching as a young kid, that most of the show was technically an advertisement because the shows were designed to make you want to go to, a house show, designed to make you want to go to a live event whenever it just so happens to hit your city, or if you want to travel and go and see it, right? And then from there, you get there, you try to buy some merch. They have the games, you buy the games. They have all this, I'm not oblivious to the fact that they've always tried to sell shit. But this is getting absolutely outrageous. I'm watching a premium live event on an app that I already paid for. An app that you got your money from. And you're flooding me with ads. This was just another episode of Raw with two ladder matches slapped on the card. Like I said, did we get a couple of decent things? Sure. I'm not going to say that the entire night I was completely bored out of my mind, because I wasn't. All right. Obviously, I like wrestling and I like watching things happen in wrestling through the entertainment medium of wrestling. So there's things that I'm going to enjoy, obviously. But the booking, the booking and the endings and the garbage and the illogic of the booking that's going on in this show, it was too much for me to handle, man. It was too fucking much. So let's go ahead, jump into this video. Let's talk about how fucking trash Triple H is and how he hates anything that is anything and anybody that is actually talented or actually entertaining. All right. So go ahead, like and subscribe. If you haven't already, comment down below. Next goal, we might as well double it. I know I haven't set a new goal since I hit 1,000. I felt good. I wanted to let it ride for a little bit, but next goal, 2,000. Let's make it happen by the end of the year. All right, I think we can do it. So go ahead, like and subscribe if you like your boy. You know what I mean? If you want to listen to your boy some more. All right, let's jump into this fucking review. So we start off the show, crazily enough, with superstar walkouts, right? Like we're we just like Raw, just like I said, just like Raw, we start off with some fucking superstar walkouts. All right, we see this shit every single week, and now we have to see it at the beginning of a fucking pay-per-view, and we have to see, and we have to listen to Michael Cole not get us hyped at all for the shit that we're about to come up and watch. All right, like just so horrible at getting people hyped. All right, watching old school fucking pay-per-views and how JR and the King, they used to get you excited to watch what you're about to watch. These motherfuckers do not cut it. They cannot lace these sons of bitches boots. All right. But whatever, we get into the women's Money in the Bank. That's the first match on the card. All right. And this match wasn't terrible. All right. It was pretty slow, was pretty botchy. I saw a couple of things. All right. But here's the thing, though. You have 3 very inexperienced women, at least on this level, in a match with 3 very experienced women on this level. So, I kind of expected some botches in this match. But Naomi ended up picking up the win in this match. That's good for her. Hopefully she brings it into, the feud that she has with Bianca and Jade. Hopefully that becomes like an element of some sort. We'll see kind of what happens, what she does with Tiffany Stratton. I really like the Naomi's new character. All right, I think it's pretty good. I think she's doing I think Naomi, even though I know she's being pushed pretty much simply because she is a part of the NOIE family, right? She is married to Jimmy Uso, I believe. So it's like she's getting pushed for that reason. She is still pretty talented at what she does. And, she's put in a lot of effort to this heel turn, changing up her look, changing up her whole gimmick, right? Changing up the music, just some hard rock music. I love to see it. All right. That's the kind of stuff that it's effort, and you can see that she's really taking this shit seriously. So I can appreciate that. And she has all that ass. That ass was all over the place tonight. Oh my Lord. I know. There's just times where I'm not an envious man. You know what I mean? But there are times where I envy that man, Jimmy Uso, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. I am not an envious man, but there's times, right? But we move on because we get a match up next that got made at Worlds Collide. I don't know if you watched that shit. I didn't tune into that shit. I tuned in for the last match, I believe, just to see. I wanted to see how many people were watching. At that time, it was like 500K or something like that was watching. So, they're getting less viewers on YouTube, on free TV, you know what I'm saying, than they would get on NXT or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But, hey, I bet that's more viewers than AAA has gotten combined over the last 5-10 years. So it is what it is. That's good for them, I guess, right? So this match got made at Worlds Collide. It was Dom versus Octagon Jr. All right. Now, I've watched Octagon matches before, but I haven't necessarily picked up on Octagon Jr. But this match was boring as fuck. All right. Octagon Jr. He does all this stuff where, he just does a lot of spins in the air, and those are cool moves. But this match wasn't necessarily about anything. It wasn't, Dom put the title on the line, but this match could have gone to literally anybody else on the roster, and it would have been a better idea than this bullshit that we got. And when I was watching this match, I also had to think TNA has to be pissed, right? Like the president of TNA, the board, whatever, right? They have to be fucking pissed because they're in a partnership with WWE. They're getting jobbed out to the NXT guys, right? Fucking Trick Williams is winning their world champion. Fucking NXT mid-carder is winning the world championship of TNA. And fucking Octagon Jr., somebody that nobody knows this man. Nobody cares about this man. The crowd was so quiet when this motherfucker came out because nobody cares about Octagon Jr. But whatever, right? This was the match we got. Slow, boring, botchy. I don't care. All right. Dominic ended up winning this match because duh, right? And TNA got to be pissed. TNA has to be pissed. AAA getting this opportunity on an actual pay-per-view, actually getting in a match that's taking up time, right? A legitimate match, not just getting fucking jobbed out by Randy Orton on a national stage. on fucking WrestleMania. TNA got to be fucking pissed. But whatever. All right. Next up, we got like a commercial from like American Made about the fireball ladders that they were going to be using in the men's Money in the Bank match. All right. Like I said, most of this night was just ads. In between each match, you got ads. As soon as you came back from the commercial, the actual commercial break, they're trying to sell you some shit right then and there. Oh, we got collectibles. Oh, we got the brand new the Money in the Bank ring that we're selling. That's available now at Walmart. All right. We're selling Wheatley. We're selling Fireball. We're selling Morgan & Morgan Insurance or law attorneys. You know what I mean? We're selling attorneys on this motherfucker. They're selling everything. They're not selling Beanie Babies, motherfucker. They're not selling fucking baby bottle pops and push pops and Skittles and shit. They're pushing adult products. Dude wipes and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're pushing adult products. Talking about this shit's for the kids. Get the fuck out my face. But whatever. All right. Most of tonight was an ad. Next up, we got Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. This match, I did not care for it at all. This was my smoke break match. All right. I'm not going to sit here and hold you like I was overly excited about watching this match. All right. What I will say, this match was shorter than their usual matches. So I was definitely happy about that. I did not want to spend time on this match. Becky ends up rolling up Lyra Valkyria for a victory. All right. So Becky Lynch is now the women's IC champion. So, she's probably going to drop it back to Lyra in at probably the next pay-per-view or maybe just on an episode of Monday Night Raw because, Triple H doesn't actually give a shit about this title. But whatever. All right. So Becky ends up rolling up Lyra after the match. As was stated, the deal was that Lyra had to raise Becky's hand. So Lyra did. She raised Becky's hand. Becky wanted her to raise her hand all around the ring, and she did. And then Becky wanted her to put her title around her waist, and then she did. But when she put the title around her waist, she hits her with a German suplex, hits her with the Nightwing, and then she walks out. All right. That's what ended up happening there. Then we move on to obviously more ads. But after that, we get the men's Money in the Bank. This match was whatever, right? This match was whatever. On a scale of like 1 to 10, it was right there in the middle for this match. Like this match was not the best Money in the Bank match that I've seen, but it was not. It was far from the worst Money in the Bank match that I've ever seen. It did have a shit ending that really brought it down, right? It could have been a 7 or an 8, if it actually had a good ending. But this match was obviously brought down by the bullshit that we see going on, right? So we get during this match, towards the end of the match, of course, we get Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed coming out, laying waste to everybody because of course they do, right? Then after they lay waste to everybody, here comes Seth Rollins getting ready to, make his ascent up the ladder. And then we get the Bloodline, right? Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo. We just saw last night that Jacob Fatu overheard Solo Sikoa talking to JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb, right? And, Solo was calling them a retard, basically. And so we all knew what the fuck was about to go down. But they clear house, right? They do what they got to do, JC Mateo and fucking Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu pushes Solo up the ladder, right? And then he stops him from climbing the ladder. And then, obviously he turns on him, fucking hits a spinning Solo through a ladder on this motherfucker, and then he just walks away, right? And this shit is just made for the babies. Like they this is what I'm saying. Like they write for babies and then they push alcohol. This shit is crazy. We're used to hearing "I love you, Solo." We're used to hearing that shit, and now they switch it up, right? They switch it up this time. So now when he stops him on the ladder, he says, "I hate you, Solo." And it's like, come on, bro. What the fuck am I watching, right? So whatever. Jacob Fatu, he ends up finally turning on Solo. Or I shouldn't even say finally, because it wasn't necessarily that long that they were doing this bullshit. It was probably like over the last couple of months, but it's just as how slow they've been burning the candle, though. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't hit as hard as I believe they wanted it to. And maybe that's just me, right? Let me know what y'all thought about this whole thing. But that was that. Now, this is how Seth Rollins wins, because we have to get to this. Seth Rollins ends up winning by climbing up the ladder. He's climbing up the ladder. LA Knight pulls him down. They get into a bit of a scuffle. Seth Rollins reverses whatever LA Knight tries to do, hits him with a stomp, and then climbs up the ladder and just pulls down the briefcase. Just completely shitting on LA Knight. Now this is where the rant comes in. Because we're in the middle of this dumbass Monday Night Messiah remake. Alright? This horrible fucking gimmick that Seth Rollins is trying to get over and is failing miserably at getting over. This motherfucker who somehow, some way was able to broker a deal between the SmackDown general manager or whoever, right? Paul Heyman can broker a deal between them to give him a title shot, give Sami Zayn a title shot for the WWE Championship, no less, against John fucking Cena, no less. They have the resources to do this, but for some reason Seth Rollins needs the Money in the Bank, briefcase so bad that he doesn't he needs the World Championship so bad that he doesn't go for this this deal. He can't broker a deal for himself to get that title, right? Because that doesn't make sense. Right? Instead, he has to go for the briefcase. And as a result, completely shit on LA Knight. It could have been Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker coming in and getting involved again when LA Knight was trying to, fight off Seth Rollins and they get screwed over, right? Or LA Knight ends up getting screwed over by them coming in. But no, none of that happened. LA Knight just gets fucking beat up he just gets straight up jobbed out by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins just climbs up the ladder, no worries and no care in the world, and just takes it off very slowly, right? Just takes the briefcase off very slowly and this shit pissed me off beyond belief, man. Beyond belief. Seth Rollins does not need this briefcase. Not only does Seth Rollins not need this briefcase, all right? Seth Rollins is at a point in his career where he needs to start thinking about leaving. That is it. That's the only thing that he needs to be thinking about at this point, all right? Because he has failed miserably, time and time and time again. He has won multiple world championships. He's won the mid-card championships, tag team championships. He's won all of this. He's main evented, quote unquote, Wrestlemania now twice, or maybe more than that. I think he's main evented 3 or 4 times. I don't remember exactly how many times he's main evented. But he's main evented at least 3 times, I believe. And for some reason, for some fucking reason, LA Knight, who actually needs an a Money in the Bank win. So LA Knight needs the Money in the Bank win. I mean, I'm not saying that he can't get over without the Money in the Bank. That's not a question. But are you going to put him in the position to be able to actually get to that main event scene? Are you actually going to do that? That's what I'm trying to figure out here, because that's the problem with LA Knight. LA Knight has apparently had 24 matches as of Friday night, so this will be his 25th match of the year. LA Knight has wrestled more matches just in this year, this calendar year, the year of our Lord, 2025. He has wrestled more matches than Cody Rhodes has wrestled all of 2024. All the way through his title reign. Cody Rhodes wrestled probably like 15 or so times. LA Knight has wrestled more. He is more talented than Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is somehow a main eventer, though. He's more talented than a Seth Rollins, especially on the mic. He's more talented than Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins fucking sucks. He is a fucking mid-carder. That is what Seth Rollins is. He is nothing more, and he is nothing less. He is a mid-carder. That is at best. And somehow he's in this main event position where he's going back and he's winning the Money in the Bank, taking away opportunity. Once again, just opportunities to actually get different people over. Let us see different people in the main event spotlight, because we've been seeing the same 4 or 5 people over the last 4 or 5 years. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. CM Punk now. Not even in title contention, because CM Punk since he's come back, he's not been worried about the title at all up until this last Monday. Finally, now he wants to go for a title. Up until then, in kayfabe, CM Punk does not give a shit about the title at all. He's just back because he wants to make money and wrestle. Cool for you. But CM Punk, who was just screwed out of this match when he said that he wanted to win it, he was screwed out of it by Seth Rollins. And yet somehow, some way, CM Punk doesn't show up for this match. Roman Reigns doesn't show up for this match. Roman Reigns, who was jobbed out by Seth Rollins. Neither of them showed up for this match, but Seth Rollins' henchmen, they showed up for this match. Neither of them had the gumption to come out here and try to screw Seth Rollins after Seth Rollins has screwed them. This makes them look weak. This makes LA Knight look weak. This makes Seth Rollins look like another experiment, right? Another fucking failed experiment. Because that's what this whole thing is. This whole entire group makes no sense. Still don't even have a fucking name. That's how much fucking effort they've put into this group. And Seth Rollins gets the Money in the Bank. Something that should have gone to LA Knight in LA. The crowd was so hot for LA Knight tonight. I had to go on that rant because that shit, it really took, I already was completely out of this event. But then I see this shit happen to LA Knight. Triple H being so fucking petty that LA Knight is... I'm not even saying that LA Knight, because there's no way possible that LA Knight could have a better career in the short time that he has left than the career that Triple H has had, right? But Triple H knows that LA Knight has star power. So Triple H is just intent on pushing him down, squandering the few years that LA Knight has left at peak condition. I mean, he's not even at peak condition anymore because he's in his 40s now. So it's like any kind of potential that he has completely down the drain. If he doesn't win the King of the Ring little bullshit tournament that they have coming up, which I don't see him winning. I just don't see him winning. Like, LA Knight's done. Like, this has already fucking buried him. Whatever. That's my rant on that. Let me know what y'all think about that one down in the comments below. Because I know a lot of my fans, right? A lot of my supporters and stuff like that. I know you guys have, I know you guys love LA Knight just like I love LA Knight. All right? There's a lot of us that love LA Knight that know that it's LA Knight's time. Yeah, for some reason, LA Knight is getting just pushed down, man, by the system. After this, we get the official WrestleMania announcement for Las Vegas this upcoming year. So, as speculated, WWE, they announced, they had The Rock go out there and announce WrestleMania in New Orleans. They looked over the numbers after they already announced it and all this stuff, and it was already pretty much official. They looked over the numbers again and saw that they were not going to make anywhere near as much as they could make if they came back to Las Vegas. And as a consequence, they dropped their deal with New Orleans, probably souring their relationships for any further business ventures, and moved it back to Las Vegas. So there you have that there, right? So we had the official announcement, not from one of the superstars, right? This time it's from, of course, Triple H, because Triple H has to be on everything, has to be everywhere at all times, putting his face out there and not his fucking superstars. We get John Cena and Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso next. This match, before we even got to the match, the fucking yeeting, bro. The yeeting was too much. They spent like 10 minutes wasting time and yeeting. They played Jey Uso's theme song and they kept, bringing up the chorus or whatever, so that way they could continue to yeet. And after they did that for 10 minutes, they decided that the audience in Bakersfield, or not Bakersfield, in LA, probably because they were so fucking bored out of their mind up until now, and they had just, had all the steam taken out by an LA Knight loss in LA. They yeet for 10 minutes, and the audience, they asked for an encore. Jey Uso's asking for the encore, asking for them to start up his music, and I've never been more happy to hear "Humble, I'm so humble." I have never been so happy to hear Logan Paul's theme music ever in life. Logan Paul comes out, he has the drone, right? He does the whole shit with the drone, has the drone fly up and all this during his entrance. It was whatever. John Cena comes out next. All right. Alicia Taylor, she can't hold a candle to Mr. Vegas. It just is what it is. Mr. Mark Chinook. All right. She can't hold a candle to him. But she did her best with the whole Never Seen 17, greatest of all time, here to grace Los Angeles with his presence one final time. Right. That whole thing. She did her best with that. So it is what it is. But I think Mr. Vegas would have been way better for this event. But whatever. We move on. This match was whatever. All right. Most of the match, John Cena and Logan Paul were beating the dog shit out of Jey Uso. It was amazing to watch. You just love to see it, right? But they were beating the shit out of Jey Uso. And then their egos got the best of them, I guess. Logan Paul tagged himself in at some point. Cena tagged himself back in, and then they started arguing. And that their argument gave Jey Uso, who was just getting his ass whipped for the last 15 minutes, gave him enough time to crawl all the way across the ring and tag in Cody Rhodes, who comes in, clears house, clears out Logan Paul, clears out John Cena, right? But that's what happened after that. And then Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes is he's Hulk Hogan. In this match, Cody Rhodes took a pulverizer, and then not even 90 seconds after this pulverizer, he takes an attitude adjustment and kicks out. Just fuck John Cena's finisher, right? Just fuck John Cena's finisher. John Cena only needs one crossroads to lose. He only needs one crossroads to lose. Yet, somehow, some way, Cody Rhodes is kicking out of a pulverizer and a fucking attitude adjustment. And they have Logan Paul looking like an absolute dumbass, because after Logan Paul hits the pulverizer, he doesn't go for the pin like a normal wrestler would, right? He goes, he calls for the drone, and he's getting ready to hit the frog splash with the drone. Then Cody Rhodes, he comes up and hits him with a suplex. Jey Uso comes out of nowhere, hits the frog splash on him, right? Or the Uso splash on him, right? And just completely missed his opportunity. Then John Cena comes, hits the AA, right? All this, and it is what it was. It is what it is. And during this match, there was another good spot where Logan Paul, he did like a springboard from the second rope outside the ring. It was pretty fucking cool. He did a springboard moonsault onto Jey Uso onto the announce table. All right, so that was, pretty cool spot. I'll give him that, right? So that was what it was. And the last thing in this match that was obviously of note was that R-Truth made his return, right? R-Truth makes his return, right? John Cena's in the ring. He's getting ready to hit an attitude adjustment, I believe. And then R-Truth comes out, or no, he's getting ready to hit Cody Rhodes with the title. He hits Cody Rhodes with the title, right? And then R-Truth comes out of nowhere, right? A masked figure, I should say, a masked and hooded figure comes out of nowhere, starts putting the beats on John Cena, hits John Cena with the title, right? And then takes off his mask, takes off his hood, right? And it's R-Truth, right? Everybody's excited, right? I was genuinely surprised to see R-Truth, right? I have seen speculations that this whole thing could just be storyline for storyline purposes, but I don't think so. I really think that they, just were like, hey, come back just for, this last night. We'll pay you handsomely, give you a better send-off than, you jobbing out to fucking Jeffrey Cobb. You are, a legend in this business at this point, right? So, we got to see R-Truth. That was cool. But this show in totality was ass. This show in totality was garbage. It's not a show that I can get behind. I give this entire show probably a 3 out of 10 at best. At fucking best. Maybe, I can't even give him a 2.5 out of 10. I'll give him a 2.5 out of 10. All right. That's what I'm going to give him, because this show was ass. LA Knight lost in LA. Can't forgive that. We got R-Truth back, and that's cool and whatever, but that is just what it is. It was for the pop, right? We watch back in 10 years. We're not going to care that R-Truth came back to fucking screw over John Cena in his last fucking run. Like, we're not going to look back on this title reign with any kind of, goodwill. We're not looking back on this title reign, this heel turn in general. It's just been a fucking disaster, right? John Cena's out here getting pinned by Cody Rhodes, getting crossroad and pinned by Cody Rhodes in a tag match. Pinning the champion, right? Just doesn't make any sense. Triple H just loves to bury his champions, loves to make sure that everybody stays on the same level. Everybody is 50-50 booked. It is what it is, man. This was, like I said, an ass show. Let me know what y'all thought of this show down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. And this has been your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.